Hello, my name is Jamie Hart. I'm the Digital Product Manager at the University of Canterbury. My team looks after the research experience, and that includes the entire research life cycle from eResearch, research data management, and research management. So for those of you who are researchers, our platforms include the research management system and funding, etc. And François.
Oh, well, I'm working under Jamie now. I'm happy to have a boss for the last couple of years now. Before that, it was pretty much me under direct call from head of IT who didn't know what to do with me. Anyway, our presentation will be about what's going on at UC hardware ways. It feels a little bit like Nick's presentation, but on a dime.
Yes. All right, while we battle on, I'll just share a little bit about what UC's vision and goals were. So this was going to be slide 3, which was to enable high-impact research and world-class learning with technology. We can't do that without the support of our infrastructure team and our platforms. So our cloud enablement program included the replacement of our aging research compute cluster, and we were also looking at a range of digital platforms to serve the broad range of research needs. Our big problem, the research compute cluster is out of support, and I say that we went into extended support and we're out of that as well. Woohoo! So just press this button. Thank you. We'll skip past that now. That's us, you know our faces now. And so one of our aims was to move the university forward into a modern IT flexible service environment that supports our learners and our researchers. And the university embarked on its digital transformation program a number of years ago now, I think in 2021, 2022, which is when I joined. And the cloud enablement program is a program of digital transformation projects. So we, as part of our strategy, we wanted to move into a hybrid cloud environment to cater to the varying needs of our researchers. And I say researchers because that's what my team really cares about. The teaching side is someone else's problem.
Technically.
So just a little view of what we've been looking at, and as you can see, the replacement of the research compute cluster is one of many projects. So we had a refresh of our data storage, which is Dell Isilon, backups. We last year had a really fantastic pilot using public cloud, AWS, for research, and now we're able to offer that as a service for our researchers. And we are also undergoing a big cloud migration program, and really interested to hear Darren from Otago's experience with that. So I'd love to talk to you more about that another time. So, our research compute cluster, we stopped paying for extended support in August last year, so wish us luck. And some departments offer services via their own clusters, so our researchers do get access to virtual Linux and Microsoft machines. They have group clusters of computers, but we also have NeSI as a subscription now. So we're not a collaborator partner at the moment, but we do have a subscription to NeSI, which we offer to our researchers that are in the postdoc environment, not necessarily as a PhD, because they get that through merit. So we want to make sure that for all of our researchers, you do get access irrespective of which stage of your career you are in. So research, we know it's a special case. It doesn't fit into the same model as corporate workloads. We knew that we would need access to multiple platforms to accommodate the needs of our researchers. So we are looking at, we looked at private and public cloud environments, and we will continue to do so. So we went through our procurement process over the last 2 years. We had a lot of help from key academics. And we had an eResearch co-design governance group. And what that actually highlighted to us was that not only did we need a new cluster, we also need to have an eResearch program. So we embarked on not only looking at replacing kit, but also uplifting our capability in eResearch and research data management as a whole. So our request for procurement also included some corporate workloads. We also had an issue there, and we consulted widely and talked to a lot of our colleagues about what they required in the future. Our usage data contributed to our requirements, and the availability of services like NeSI and where they fit was also taken into account. Indigenous data sovereignty was a really high priority, and that's why we wanted a private environment. And so what were we looking for a partner? We wanted a partner to further support and develop and implement continuous improvements. We can't maintain it forever. We also want it to be sustainable, and with the length of our agreement, which is in several phases, we needed that trust and communication with the supplier and the ability to manage risk over the long period of time. So phase 1, easy. Replace the compute cluster, and we are looking to increase our capability, and François will talk about the technical aspects of that. Phase 2, we are not there yet, so we're not even in phase 1 yet, we're not finished. Business workloads, we want to include business workloads. And phase 3, which we have started talking about already internally, is expanding our clusters to support our wider departments and research institutes. And our RFP attracted some really amazing proposals and innovative solutions for our requirements. And it was extremely difficult to decide between the fantastic presentations that we had and the discussions that we had. And we selected Sempre and HPC Now as our partners to deliver the private cloud solution. Sempre, as you know, provides enterprise-grade hybrid cloud solutions, and HPC Now, which many of you also know, are designing, installing, configuring our HPC environment, and we are doing that on Dell hardware. So some factors that influence our decision-making: we needed something that was flexible, scalable, and that would fit in with our existing UC environment. And we needed something that was very strong for our research workloads. Risk was a factor for us. We needed to mitigate the risk of, for this very long contract, that we needed to mitigate that risk for our users and our researchers and our senior leadership team. Okay, so we started our build in Q4, and it is in progress, and completion is estimated in Q1 this year, so anytime now. We were hoping to go live next week, but as you know, with implementation, there are inevitably some hiccups that come up. So the presentation today will focus on phase 1, as phase 2 and 3 are not yet in train. I will hand over now to François. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So a bit of karma. So at the moment, that's only one rack, and it's located where the Power 7 cluster used to be at Bluefern when we were part of NeSI. It taken the place of the old stuff. That's kind of funny. So it goes in the primary data center. We had initially we wanted to put it somewhere in town, but it's been decided for various reasons that we'll keep it in-house in the data center. There's more cores, there's more memory, and yeah, go live in Q1, maybe Q2. So that's kind of the hardware. So that's a strange list of hardware, and that's because when we put the RFP together, it was expected that it would be kind of like the RCC, which was a private cloud. But the proposal that we had that was more HPC oriented was much better and more fitting. And the RCC itself, which was just private cloud, was too much of one thing, I must say. So that's why we have 2 nodes that have a maximum cost. Actually, when we were negotiating, tried to arrange things so it was a little bit more uniform, but no, it didn't happen. So it's mostly AMD cores, so plenty of cores in a few nodes. Yeah, which is possibly too small, but hey. We'll have some flash storage for our scratch or share file system, with the expectation that that storage will only be used for temporary, for the computation and any not long-term data. That will be hosted in our regular isolon, which we will connect through the login node, so people can easily check in and check out the data, but they shouldn't do compute on the main isolon. So it's built as a 3 Fermi knife. That's what we called it. That's what it was all to us. So there's a Slurm cluster underneath, but we will also do all sorts of containerized stuff we can do. Mainly Kubernetes, but there's LXD, there's Docker. We can do all those things container-wise. There's an OpenStack environment, so we can do VM if we are wanting to, and we'll serve open on demand, like everyone else. And finally, that's very nice for me. Finally, we go back to the software research ecosystem proper, rather than enterprise grade that we make do with. And yes, we will have the option to cloud burst to AWS for some HPC workflow. And we will have probably a better monitoring. That's my ad hoc solution that I cooked for the ERCC. That will be much more professional. So that's kind of reporting. That's a slide of Georgie, really, from HPC Now. You want to talk about the reporting a bit?
Yes. So something that we will need, and going forward as we move into an OpEx model, is showback. How is the consumption of our research computing services being used? Who is using it, down to project level? We haven't built it yet. We're definitely in design mode. I have fizzed out that section because our university uses Power BI, so we will need to have that data flow through, and we'll need to design what reporting looks like for our organisation. What we want to achieve, though, is optimization of this resource and automation where we can, and help us to be, as much as possible, cost-effective and increase the level of access for our researchers. So I think I've mentioned already we are early in the journey. We're just sharing warts and all where we're at, and hopefully this time next year we'll be able to share what it looks like, much like Ben does in Flexi HPC land. And so phase 2 corporate workloads and phase 3 is still to come. And we are also spending a lot of time this year on our service catalogue. So for our eResearch service catalogue, it doesn't just include the compute services, but also our research data management, training, etc. Request for access will require a data management plan. So let's see how that goes. As you can see, we're not ready for a live demo. But yeah, we are also requesting data management plans for requests for research drives and compute. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions?
Your catalogue that you're developing at the moment, is that how much work and how are you going about putting it into a research language and outcome focused system? So when a researcher looks at it and then goes, I want to do X, they will know which part of the catalogue that they need to use.
Well, our lovely eResearch consultants are that conduit between the researcher and the compute service that they need. So they do provide that, at the moment, one-on-one service. But we hope to have some workloads easily accessed and automated via, we use ServiceNow at our university. Yes?
The cloud bursting to AWS is sort of interesting. I hear people attempt this, and where it even falls down on the data transfer?
Yes, we were told about that. We'll have to select which load can do that, because yes, data transfer is a problem, so that you want something that's slow data.
So how would you do that, via a queue or via documentation and just ask people to use the result?
It's a work in progress, but at the moment that would be via a queue. That's the plan.
Any others?
Don't be a stranger. You know who I am now, so you can talk to me or François or Michael Co, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, thank you too. And
Thank you.
all of the rest of our speakers today. And we're actually on time for our afternoon tea.
No,
So well done.